This guy has been inspected and approved by Luminous.
Hey guys, this is Sunspan and welcome to the official Dota Cinema Guide to Night Stalker. If you aren't familiar with this hero, you may want to watch the introduction we did for him at the corresponding link. Night Stalker is a strength hero that is considered to be one of the strongest gankers in the game. His unique skill set coupled with his ability to snowball out of control makes him a very tough hero to go up against. Skill build. Maxing Void by level 7 is a very standard practice, as it's incredibly powerful for ganking. Aside from that, skilling Night Stalker is very dependent on what you're going up against. If the opposing team doesn't have the greatest escape mechanisms, then maxing Hunter in the Night can be really beneficial. If the opposing team does have good escape mechanisms, then getting one level of Crippling Fear and then maxing out Hunter in the Night would be effective. Either way, there's no point in leveling Crippling Fear past level 1 until your Hunter in the Night skill is maxed out. And when it comes to your ultimate, you can make an argument to level it right away or skip it for a bit later. Some pros prefer to skip it at first in preference for either leveling up Hunter in the Night faster or getting 1 point in Crippling Fear. The reason for this is because you are so dependent on ganking that if your first night's ganks go successfully, you'll be rewarded with solid levels anyway, so skipping Darkness initially won't be a big issue. On the other hand, extending the first night right away could be an option if you feel you're going to get easy kills regardless. In conclusion, whether you level your ultimate at 6, 9, or 10 is just personal preference. Item build. For starting items, get your usual regeneration items, but more importantly, don't forget to get 2 gauntlets of strength. If you have any remaining gold, then just fill up on iron branches, since I've heard they ensure a good game. For the early stages, if you're in the middle lane, get your bottle at first opportunity as the runes will play a pivotal role. Also, be sure to turn those 2 gauntlets of strength into an urn, as extra charges you get from ganking will assist in healing you, as well as helping finish off enemy heroes. For boots, you have a choice between power treads and phase boots. Treads will give you a little more survivability, while phase will be much more effective for ganking, as the extra speed boost will stack with your Hunter in the Night passive. The unit walking along with extra damage is also extremely helpful during the ganking stages. Although Night Stalker is not item dependent whatsoever, if you happen to be getting good farm by the mid stage of the game, try and purchase an Aghanim Scepter. Night Stalker is one of the few heroes that gains a passive ability from this item. The clear vision it gives during the night is borderline broken, and of course the stats from the item itself are great for a hero who's going to be in the thick of things consistently. If you're having trouble staying alive, or if you're getting frustrated by the constant disables of the enemy team, go for a BKB. And although most Night Stalkers play the ganking role full time, if you choose to use them as a carry, then getting items like a Skull Basher and Helm of the Dominator in combination with the BKB could be a solid choice. Late game, the full-time ganking Night Stalker really doesn't need anything. If you're playing the carry role or just have more gold than you know what to do with, invest in items that allow you to tank, such as a Heart or Satanic. Gameplay. No matter how good you are at farming, when the first night arrives, get your ass out there and start ganking. Put it upon yourself to build up an item and gold advantage for your team. Also, unless you're trying to initiate or escape during the day, always use your ultimate at night. The reason for this is it freezes time, meaning you're essentially stacking extra nighttime to the clock. If used efficiently, you can actually use level 3 darkness several times during the course of a single night. And if it's daytime, don't just AFK farm as if you're useless, because even though your skills are diminished a bit, you can still be a decent ganker. For the actual ganks, you can use your Void to initiate, followed by Crippling Fear if they have a strong nuke or getaway mechanism. Be sure to follow this with an offensive urn charge if you have it. Now, if you have a teammate assisting you with this gank, use your ridiculous move speed to your advantage and block the enemy's path as much as possible. One thing you should keep an eye on though is if an enemy has a TP scroll. If you have a relatively safe kill, only use your Void if you're getting the finishing blow. A common mistake made by Night Stalker players is to use Void to initiate on every occasion. If you set this pattern, then enemies will just TP away right after you use it. To help you out in your ganks, carry some TP scrolls or Smokes of Deceit. Using both are great ways to bypass wards. I mean, just think about it. If the enemy sees a Night Stalker coming in for a gank, their first instinct is to run away, and for good reason. In actual teamfights, you can kite enemies pretty easily with your superior move speed and ability to slow with Void. But probably the most important part to a teamfight is your ability to silence a crucial caster. An 8-second silence is something that can make or break a teamfight. Also, don't forget that your Void slows attack speed by 35% for up to 4 seconds, so using this on a hard right clicker would be preferable. And last but certainly not least, playing Night Stalker requires a rather large set of balls. So if you don't plan to go balls deep, then go home and play Ricky. Friends and foes. Friends are quite easy to come by for Night Stalker, since he'll be the main one initiating in most cases. So heroes that bring about a good amount of damage would be preferable to match up with. Heroes such as AA, Lich, and Venno are great partners, but the same could be said for dozens of other heroes. Heroes that Night Stalker players should try and stay away from are those that have a high mobility and can counter your ganks by some means, whether it's a hard disable or slow. Examples of this would include Furion with his ever-frustrating Sprout, Invoker with his infinite amount of spells, Rasta and Lion with their countless disables, and of course Night Stalker's arch-nemesis, Beastmaster, with not only his Primal Roar being able to disable Night Stalker, but his very annoying boar that just won't leave Night Stalker alone. Thanks for watching, guys, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, a special shout out goes to Flawless and Luminous for their help in writing this guide. You can check them out at their respective YouTube channels, which are linked in the video description. And finally, be sure to check out our new website at dotacinema.com, where you can find a ton of Dota 2 videos along with our live streaming page, which includes me playing with you guys on a nightly basis. My name is SunsFan, and until next time.